It's tax season, and at LifeLock, we know you're tired of numbers. But here's a big one you need to hear. Billions. That's the amount of money in refunds the IRS has flagged for possible identity fraud. Now here's another big number. 100 million. That's how many data points LifeLock monitors every second. If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it guaranteed. One last big number. Save up to 40% your first year. Visit lifelock.com/podcast for the threats you can't control. Terms apply.
Hello, welcome back to another episode of Melchizedek Chronicles. I am your host, Dr. Kenny Williamson. Today, we're going to talk just a little bit more about a couple different things. But the first and the most exciting that you're going to hear about and see all over the news is the moon mission. Going back to the moon. Artemis. Artemis is its name. So, yeah. So I looked at some videos, and there's a guy down in Florida who I follow. He took a live video of the takeoff and everything. And what's funny is what you see in real life versus what you see on TV are two completely different things. Makes you wonder why, huh? So, what you see on the news, the fake news, is you'll see this thing start to take off, and then the scene cuts to another angle or another view. So there's a cut, there's an edit. So you'll see it start to do this, and then a cut to another area, goes for a few seconds, another cut to something else. You never actually see from takeoff to end. It's always got multiple cuts, edits all in it. Well, that's because it's fake, right? If you actually had the camera on there and filmed the whole thing, it would be the whole thing through. But instead, we're cut after cut after cut. That's because that's fake. It's trickery. The same thing they do in Hollywood. Got to get the right angles and everything to make it look real. Okay. So this guy, he's a flat earther. And he calls himself Aloha from Florida. He's on TikTok, Facebook, everything. He filmed this thing, and you can go on his deal and watch it. Make a long story short, though, and I've got some screenshots of this thing. Make a long story short, it's the same old sad scenario every single time. Okay? It doesn't matter if it's 2026 in Artemis or if it's 1968 and it's Apollo. It makes no difference. What we have is a big giant thing setting up there that they claim is a rocket ship. And they claim that there's astronauts on board on it. I don't believe there's anybody on board. This thing is like a model. Okay? It's fake. I'm not sure what it's made out of, but probably thin metal of some kind, plastic. Because I've got videos, you can go watch them. I've even reposted them on TikTok where those things, something will happen to them and they just completely deflate and fall over. So they're not very rigid. So they're something like a hot air balloon type thing. They're full of helium or something that puffs them out that makes it look like a big steel machine, when actuality is fake. It's an air up of some kind, okay? And what they do is they strap a couple of big rockets onto this thing. They're not rockets like you would think. They're more like firework rockets, smoke bomb rockets, okay? And you can watch this guy's video, and it shows the takeoff. And we're talking this thing is painfully slow. Supposed to be traveling or get up to 17,000 miles an hour to break through the atmosphere. But hey, This thing don't look like it's going over about 15 or 20 miles an hour. Maybe 50. This thing takes off. Slow, painfully slow. And just goes up, up. And as soon as it starts going up, guess what it does? It starts curving. They never go straight up. There's a reason for that. Up, 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 over, 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 over. And it just keeps going and going and going. And when it gets about midway, the smoke cuts off. All of a sudden, no more smoke, no more rockets. And this guy here on the ground, he said, if you keep watching and you look at it with binoculars or a telescope and can follow it, he said, when it gets right up here to the middle and the smoke cuts off, so now you can no longer really make out where it is, he said it just keeps going and then it comes right back down. But, and they admit that. They say, oh, well, yeah, it's going down. It's going along the curvature of the earth, and it's going over there to the other side of the earth where you can't see it. And as it goes around that way, then it goes into outer space, see? But the part that we see is up, 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 over, 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 down, 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 and then it goes on the other side of the globe, according to them. So, you talk about stupid. Oh, it's going up, and it's coming right back down. It's going right out into the Bermuda Triangle. That's why they launch these things over the ocean. Okay, it comes off and goes right out into the ocean. That's where it's aiming, right out to the Bermuda Triangle. But of course, according to them, it's not going to the Bermuda Triangle. It's going. Why it just doesn't go up right into outer space right then? Hey. But, well, number one, because they can't keep going straight up. There's something that blocks them called the firmament. So they're not going straight up. So they have to go up and start curving. Why? They'd hit the firmament. So now they've got to come over and over and over to miss it, and then they've got to come right back down. And that's what they do. So you've got a fake firecracker, basically, full of helium, no telling what else. And they shoot that dude up, and it goes so slow, it's unbelievable. And most people are too stupid to realize this thing's supposed to be going over 10,000 miles an hour, put it that way, 10 to 17,000 miles an hour, somewhere in the middle. Because, somebody will say, it's not exactly 17, Kenny. It's 16.1. Okay, well, you get over 10,000 miles an hour, that's really fast. Okay, you should see it going really fast. And people don't put this in their minds. It's like, well, blah, blah, blah. And they have all these excuses. Like, why don't you go fire off a bottle rocket? Have you ever fired a bottle rocket? When that thing lights, it goes, and it is gone. You can't just sit there and watch it go, real slow and easy, and just slowly, there's this Are you serious? Think. Have you ever seen a model rocket? When you light the fuse on that thing or you hit the button, it goes pow and it's gone. All you see is and it's gone. That's what this is supposedly is, only a huge version of it. But it's not going fast, it's going slow. But see, that's the whole point. They want you to watch it and sit there and watch it and ooh and ah and Google over it. See? That way you believe it. It sticks in your mind. That's what Hollywood would do. They stretch it way out. So, you watch live videos of this thing, the real ones, like people are filming. This thing is going dreadfully slow. It's putting out tons of smoke for a very short time. When it gets right about in the middle, fizzles out. Nothing. So, let's see. I've got some pictures here. If I can get them to... Oops. Let me see if I can get them to show. I think. Okay, here's the first one. If you... Of course, if you listen to audio only, you can't see this. But this is a picture of a smoke trail going up. And at the very tip right there is the rocket ship. So, unless you really, really zoom in... you can't really make out that there's anything there other than it's putting out smoke. And I'm going to tell you, this thing is going dreadfully slow. Okay? I mean dreadfully slow. So there was the first one. Second picture here. Let's find it. Why this other screen keeps popping up, I'll never know. Well, move that over there. Share screen. There it is. So there's another picture. This picture is starting to get right up in the middle, and you can see the smoke behind the rocket is starting to get kind of flaky, starting to get real thin looking. Not as surprising. It's running out of whatever's in it at this point. Finally, I'll show you one more here. So this one right here was taken. Oh, this is a screenshot. But I was watching the video as I was taking this. That's why it's got a play mark in the middle. That thing literally took off. You can see it in the lower right-hand corner down there. Right down there. The thing took off. It went up. When it got right about in the middle up there, it basically just completely fizzled out. Completely 100% fizzled out. That's what it did. He goes up, 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 and then all of a sudden there's no more smoke behind it, and it appears to be gone. But what it is, it's right out of your eyesight. You can zoom in on it. It's there, and then it comes down. And there you go. There you have it. Now, of course, you've heard of the old term smoke and mirrors. Well, that's your smoke. They blow lots of smoke for a time. Then smoke runs out. Then the thing comes right back down. So it's all smoke and mirrors, folks. That's what it is. There are no humans on that. That is a remote control type bottle rocket, if you will. It's a model rocket, only on large scale. They fire it up, and it comes right back down to the ocean where they go pick up the pieces. Now, after that thing shoots off, they do all these cuts. See, cut, cut, cut. And then what they've got is they've got these 4 astronauts, or actronauts, as I like to call them. They've got the actronauts. They're somewhere on a military base. They're probably in Washington, D.C. Who knows where? They may be in Florida for a time being. Because if you watch them walk up to the ship and they go up in an elevator and appear to not come down, well, we know that on that thing and there's a chute that comes down. They just step in and they slide all the way down to the bottom like a ride and come out right in the bottom underneath the thing. It's supposedly for emergencies only. So they've got that on the news. You can watch it. You can watch a video where somebody went up there and slid down. So just because they get into the thing doesn't mean they stay in the thing. But even if they did, I mean, even if it showed them get into it, they would cut and they would show you something else on TV and they would just simply walk out. That's all it is. That's why there are so many cuts. There's nothing straight through. And so then after the smoke disappears and you're going, ooh, look at all the smoke. Ooh. Well, then they just cut to the same fake people sitting in a room somewhere going, we're in outer space now. You know, we're doing this. They're shaking or they're not shaking and they're in some fake looking deal. Well, that's just being filmed. That's on a Hollywood set. That's in Florida. That's somewhere. Or it's already been pre-filmed. We don't even know that it's real or live. It's like a movie. You go watch a movie, it will seem like it's just happening. It could have been filmed 3 years ago. And not even in the order you see it. They'll take some things and film one that's the last, and then they'll come back and film something in the middle, and then they stitch it all together. That's what you're seeing here. That's why you have so many cuts, is everything is stitched and pasted together to make it look like something's happening. But it's not. So, again, you know, Artemis, a Greek goddess. You know, the one before that was Apollo, a Greek god. Everything is pagan with these guys. Everything. You know, NASA was founded by pagans worshiping the devil. And, you know, you can read about it. You know, go read about Jack Parsons, you know, JPL Laboratories, the one supposedly building these rockets. that kind of stuff. Go look up some pictures of him sitting there with some funny looking thing with a fuse coming out of it, with making these stupid pictures all the time, stupid faces. And it's like, is that supposed to mean you're smart because you have something in your hand that has a fuse coming out of it? What is that? That doesn't mean you're a rocket scientist. And then you read up a little bit on him, and he's worshiping the devil to try to get information on rockets. So he's doing these bizarre satanic rituals has to do with sex cults, animals being sacrificed, demonic this, worshiping the devil. This is all going on in the name of show me how to build a rocket to get to outer space. Okay? That's the kind of idiots we're dealing with here. The kind of devils. Nothing's changed. Nothing. It's all the same people. It's all the same stuff. It's all to deceive you. That's why they shot the thing up on April Fool's Day. Okay? They are literally rubbing it in your face. And if you believe this, if you believe all the stuff that they're doing and saying, you're an idiot. Okay? You're so brainwashed at this point, you'd believe anything. So that's why they do it. That's why they stick this junk up on TV. They do it on April Fool's Day. And they come up with some harebrained deal, and people literally, they just lap it up. They believe everything they're told. I just can't believe it. I really can't. But, so yeah, it's funny because you've got, well, here's what it is. You've got all of the space stuff is all named after demons and pagan gods, devils. Biblical times, they were worshiping these false gods. Okay. So now, in the shape that our country is in at this time, everything expensive, homeless, just you name it. We've got the money to spend, like I said, $100 billion on this fake Artemis program. So it's money laundering. Money laundering, but beyond belief. And so then, now we get into a war costing, I'm sure, hundreds of billions. What's funny is Iran, we're supposedly a war with Iran, right? And you can Google this. It's on the news. Okay, this is nothing that I've made up. They released a video, Iran did, an AI video, of them shooting a missile or a rocket into the Statue of Liberty and blowing it up. Basically, with some kind of threat attached to it, right? The funny thing is in their AI video of the Statue of Liberty, they put a Baphomet head on the Statue of Liberty. Okay? A Baphomet head. Do you know what a Baphomet head is? Well, let's get a picture up here. We're going to show you a picture of it if you can see this. Oh, good gravy. If I can get it to work. There it is. As you can see, it's got the head of a goat with horns. Obviously, it's got wings. It's half male, half female. It's got hands pointing up for as above, as the other one's pointing down for so below. Typical devil worshiping deal. That's what all your devil worshipers and stuff, they have this Baphomet. Whenever they're doing something, they want to put up a statue of something Satan, they put up a Baphomet. So it's satanic, right? So Iran puts out a picture of our Statue of Liberty, and it has the head of Baphomet on it. Well, here's the thing, which I haven't really talked about much, but I'll briefly mention it, and then we can go down that rabbit hole another time if you want to. But Statue of Liberty is believed to be actually a statue of Lucifer. Okay, there is other statues done way back and paintings done of Lucifer, and he's called the light bearer. And he's standing in a similar fashion, holding up his hand with a light in it, because he's the light bearer. And he's also chained down. Statue of Liberty's chained down. It's got a chain off her leg, too. So they claim that this Statue of Liberty, and you've got the big fake story to go along with it. In actuality, it's a statue of Lucifer, a giant statue of Satan. That's what you see when you come into America, you see the Lady Liberty. Now what you're seeing is Satan. This country is a satanic country. Everything that our government does revolves around the devil. Everything. If you think you live in a Christian country, you're wrong. There are lots of Christians in this country, yes. Our country is ran by Satanists. It's ran by Satan, like all the other countries. That's why the Statue of Liberty is actually a statue of Lucifer, the light bearer. Iran knows that, okay? Other countries know that stuff. Other people know that stuff. We don't know that stuff here because we're too stupid. Okay, we're trained from birth to believe everything the Rockefeller textbook says, which is go to work, get paid, give us all your money and taxes, and die. And we'll bury you, and that's going to cost too. We own everything, you own nothing. We're going to tax you to death, ha ha. Okay. Oh, and by the way, all the history and stuff that you think is true is probably a lie. And everything they teach you about the cosmos and the globe is a lie. Everything they teach you about monkeys and evolution is a lie. Everything they do is a lie. Understand that. You live in a country ran by Satan, ran by liars. Satan is a liar and the father of it. Okay, the father of lies. They're all Satan worshipers, most of them out in the open. They don't even really hide it anymore. Used to, you might could say, oh no, that's ridiculous. They're not worshiping Satan, blah, blah. Now they don't even hide it. They literally ban your Bible. They ban the name of Jesus Christ. They ban the 10 Commandments, but they'll put up a statue of Baphomet. They don't have any problem putting up a statue of Satan. They like that. They have no problem calling out Lucifer's name. They have no problem worshiping him openly. So, our government are all Satan worshipers. They all, and like NASA and all these government facilities, these government entities, everything they do has to do with pagan, false gods out of the Bible that the real God doesn't want you to have anything to do with. So, our government wouldn't dare name something after an angel. No, they're going to name it after a fallen angel or a fake Greek god or any kind of devil they can come up with. That's what they go with. Everything. All of our fake planets that they say exist are all named after Greek gods. Everything is pagan. That's what they do. Now, we're forced to go along with it because we live in it. But the people who are awake know what's really going on. Okay? And this is just one part of it. So Iran makes a video of blowing up the Statue of Liberty and they put a Baphomet head on it. Well, why? Because they know it's actually a statue of Lucifer. That's why. Okay? They know that. People know that. So why not just show you what it is? Put the statue, put the head of Baphomet on there. It said to let everybody know your statue is a statue of the devil. And we're going to blow you and it up. Okay, that's what they're saying. But if you don't understand that, now maybe you can look into it. The Statue of Liberty is a statue of Lucifer. Okay, that's what our government and who our government worships here. Now, you as a believer, as a Christ believer, obviously you're going to worship Jesus Christ. You're going to worship God the Father. This country as a whole, as the government's concerned, they worship the devil openly. Now, they may lie to you and say it's something different, so you're too dumb to understand. And of course, that's by design. That's because they've put chemicals in your water, chemicals in stuff to purposely make you not think. Okay? So, and they've put products like, in your toothpaste that makes everything look really white, supposedly, but also does something right here. Look into that. I could probably say it on here, but if I do, I'll probably get banned. Who knows? Go check out what's in people's drinking water. They're trying to get it banned in lots of areas, but it's in most of your toothpaste. Okay, not mine, but other people's. I won't put it anywhere near myself. So anyway, so yeah, all of this stuff that's going on, that's why we have these big temples or these big steeples in front of the White House, for example, in front of anything over there in the government. Those big things, they come from Egypt. They stick them up everywhere. They call them an obelisk. Well, really what they are is they have to do with male sexuality. It has to do with worshiping fake gods, false deities, pagans. So that's the first thing they stick up out there. They're not going to stick up anything out there that means anything good. No, they're going to stick the trash out there. Just like they're going to stick the statue out there and claim it's liberty when it's really Lucifer. So this stuff is scattered all over. That's all they do. That's all they talk about. All these space programs are named after it. All the planets are named after it. Everything you look into when it comes to the space and the planets all have the number 666 attached to it all over the place. They're telling you what they're doing. They're advertising it. And people still buy into it. They believe it. But that explains why majority of people will be burning in hell. Because they choose to believe man. They choose to believe lies and propaganda over their Bible. So, and like the Bible says, they're going to worship the creation more than the creator. So they don't want to have anything to do with God who created the whole thing. They'd rather run out here and hug a tree or claim they're doing something when they're not. So the Bible says in the last days they're going to love the creation more than the creator. And that's exactly what they're doing. That's why we have all this fake EPA stuff. Fake climate change, fake everything. They'd rather, that's just what it is. And, they go on and they try to sell it to people, these young people. I guess they're dumb enough to believe it because they're young. So they'll say, oh, this is good. That's what you want. You want an electric car, blah, blah, blah. They don't tell you where the lithium's coming from. They don't tell you about the batteries. They don't tell you about all the toxic waste or how you're going to charge the stupid thing. But they just tell you that it's better. So they believe it. So it's just like that over and over and over. So yeah, here we go. Another fake moon launch. I believe that these guys, they're somewhere. They're on a military base. They've either put them on a military base or they're over there in Florida maybe. I don't know. Or they've transported them somewhere secretly, of course, to some other place so they can pretend and be filmed that they're in outer space someplace. And then they'll end up dumping them off out of an airplane or they'll just show up like they did the other ones that were supposedly stuck on the space station. All of a sudden, this capsule falls out of the air, and it just so happens where it falls in the middle of the ocean, it's surrounded by dolphins that are swimming in circles around. You talk about fantasy. And then, it shows them getting off and the ship in the background, they're loading them, and you got the ocean and all this stuff. And somebody notices that the ocean waves keep doing the same thing on about a 15 to 30 second rotation. So in other words, they're playing a clip in the background. It's not even real water because water doesn't behave that way. So it's like, well, if you're really on a ship and you're really in the middle of the ocean, why are you showing a fake background? Well, don't ask too many questions, but look at the pretty dolphins that showed up. The dolphins knew they were coming down from outer space, and so they swam out into the middle of the sea and was waiting and looking around, and dolphins are swimming all around, even the dolphins. That's the bull crap they put out. And people eat it up. I mean, people actually believe it. The dolphins showed up for the space capsule to fall from outer space. Yeah, my gosh. They've got you. They got your pocketbook. I know that. All this stuff that they're showing on there, this bull crap, is costing billions. Somebody's paying for it. You're paying for the theatrics of the whole thing. This thing really probably only cost, there's a lot of stuff involved. Let's say it cost $100 million. But don't worry, when we get done, we're going to pretend it cost $100 billion. And somebody's going to put all that money in their pockets. That's how these politicians and all these people are getting so filthy rich, while people like me and you get poorer. Not getting any richer, no, getting poorer. You get a raise, well, everything goes up twice the price. Work on some overtime and get some free overtime, well, that's okay. We'll tax everything else twice as much. So it meant nothing. That's the way it goes. Oh, you finally got your house paid off? Hey, that's great. We're going to take your taxes and we're going to triple them. So by the time you add that up and divide it by 12 months in a year, you're back to making a house payment again. Only you're making it to the government. Hey, you got it paid off. Congratulations. Now you owe us the house payment for the rest of your life. In fact, whoever you give the house to when you die, now they owe us too. So it'll never be paid for. You will owe us from now on, or get out. We'll just take it from you. That's where we're at today. So yeah, go check that out. Go just Google. Of course, Google's about as demonic and junky as you can get. But because this was on mainstream fake news, you can actually go see the video of them sending a rocket to the Baphomet head Statue of Liberty. You can go see it yourself. So, but that doesn't surprise me that it's got a Baphomet head, and I told you why. So look into that. There's a lot of pictures and stuff. And I don't know if you can get it on Google. Probably not. You may have to go to some other, like Bing or something like that, or DuckDuckGo maybe. Or Yandex. Yandex is one, a search engine. Go to yandex.com and type in, Statue of Liberty versus the Statue of Lucifer. I'm sure you'll come up with it. You don't have to take my word for it. Anyway, so yeah, that's all I've been hearing about is the Artemis. In fact, one of the guys here, local guys on the news, he was just so disappointed that there's not enough hype. There should be way more support for this Artemis deal because, this is very important. Sure it is. By him saying that just proves that he's a liar, propagandist, and a devil. That's what it proves. Even if he's local, doesn't make any difference. I mean, we don't need anything like that. Nobody does. We don't need to take hundreds of billions of taxpayer dollars and go blow them on black holes in outer space. No, we need to spend it on, how about lowering people's taxes? How about helping people out here that are starving in the streets? Military people who are starving in the streets.
Pro Lowe's. Just because something on the job runs out doesn't mean you have to. Order it on the Lowe's app. My Lowe's Pro Rewards members get free same-day delivery on eligible orders over $25. Get the fasteners, hardware, or tools you need to keep the job moving. Order by 2 p.m. and get eligible in-stock items delivered right to your job site by 8 p.m. Members get more at Lowe's. Loyalty program subject to terms and conditions. Subject to availability. Restrictions and terms at lowes.com/shipping terms. Subject to change.
Anyway, I digress on all that. I digress. I'm running, I'm trying to keep this thing a little shorter than some of the other ones, so I'll quit talking about it. But yeah, it's money laundering at its finest. People starving in the streets. Veterans need people. Hey, just keep blowing it. Just keep blowing it on outer space. Blow it on black holes, right? Blow it on Star Trek and Captain Kirk. Captain Kirk, he can fly out there. He can fly out there to outer space and, he can rip this universe another black hole if it don't do what it's told. I mean, come on. So that's where we're at now. Back to science fiction. Back to junk. And it's all satanic. That's the purpose. It's to mislead you. It's to get you sucked into this stuff. Like saying, that's like the local guy. Hurry up and get your kids outside. You've got to get them excited into space. Why? Why would you want kids excited about fake outer space so you can tax them later, take all their money, and they'll give their money over to your fake science with a smile on their face? Is that why? There's nothing benefiting. Oh, we got to go to Mars. Why would you need to go to Mars? Mars isn't even. Yeah, it's another fake deal. But see, they keep doing this. That way, you just keep spending money. They could care, and the people that are doing this, they're getting filthy rich right here, right now. They could care less about Mars or anything else. All they want's the money. It's money laundering and satanic. Is getting people out there talking about, the satanic pagan junk that they put out there and getting you talking about Satan all the time. That's what it is. Anyway, I listen to a lot of different guys, a lot of different preachers online and stuff. A lot of people think that the end is getting really near. So if I were you, I would get saved before it's too late. Just in case, right? You really don't have any more time to waste because, you're not guaranteed another heartbeat. You are literally one heartbeat away from eternity. Okay? And here's the thing. You're going to live forever. Either way. It's just a matter of where you're going to spend that rest of eternity. Are you going to spend it in hell? Or you want to spend it in heaven? So it's a matter of where you're going to spend it, not a matter if you're going to spend it. So are you going to die and go to hell? Or are you going to die and go to heaven? I know which one I'm going to, but you have to believe in Jesus Christ. You need to ask Jesus Christ to save you. Say, Jesus Christ, I believe in you and save me. And you got to mean it. He's going to know. Okay. I mean, I went over this 100 times and, so I'm just kind of briefly touching on it. If you want to know more, email me, truthseekers2012@gmail.com. Send me something on one of my websites. It'll get to me. And or comment on this video on Spotify or some other place. I'll see it. And I'll reply if you have any questions, any serious questions like that. But get saved before it's too late. Because this whole thing could end tomorrow. Or you could fall down the stairs and your life would end tomorrow. Or you can get in a car wreck. I know a lot of people I went to high school with. They're all dead. And car wrecks. There were so many car wrecks going on. I mean, I know a bunch of them died in car wrecks. And it's just sad. They're on their way to work thinking they're going to do something. And they get hit head on and they're dead. Just like that. So get saved before it's too late. Have any questions, let me know. I'd be happy to walk you through what the Bible says about it. But more or less, it's faith and trust in Jesus Christ on his shed blood, what he did on the cross. And that's coming up. Easter is right around the corner. I mean, today is, what day is today? Today's Thursday. Tomorrow's Good Friday. And then we've got Easter Sunday. So that has all to do with this, Jesus thing, Jesus' resurrection, death, burial, and resurrection. If you have any questions, you could go to a church, and you'll probably find out the information you're looking for. So do it. I would. I've done it. So I'm not asking you or telling you to do anything that I wouldn't do. I mean, I'd do it in a heartbeat. I mean, you've got a 50-50 chance. It's either heaven or it's hell. It's 50-50. So those are some pretty good odds, or bad odds, depending on how you look at it. So get saved before it's too late, and you won't have to worry about any of that stuff. But yeah, you look into that Baphomet head. Yeah, look into that Statue of Liberty. Yeah. You're going to find out real quick that majority of everything in this United States of America is satanic. A lot of its founders, some were Christians, some were Satanists. Okay? Anyway, thanks for listening. Yeah, check us out. Check out Spotify. Check out TikTok. Check out Rumble. Check out Patreon. I've got videos on there that cannot be posted on here because they'll immediately delete them. So I've got all kinds of good stuff on there if you're interested. Go check those out. Thanks for listening. Until we meet again, God bless you.